everyone. I'm going to do my presentation on this policy and advocacy presentation. My name is Alexis Hooper. This presentation is actually going to be on preschool readiness and how I'm going to help parents understand that they can actually help their children prepare for school, despite it being pretty challenging. So here are my three little topics here. So about preschool readiness. So the history of, the policy advocacy for it, there really isn't very much to back it on, as it is not required in many states to go to a preschool. There are a lot of schools that will suggest that you do go into preschool, just so those kids get a better experience and hopefully prepare themselves a little bit more for kindergarten. And you can read here, I just, stated that preschool is a time for, your child to grow, and it's best if you can prepare them for school and the new learning environment by using many different government websites. They do provide some worksheets. You can speak to a lot of different educators. They will definitely help you out on that area. And just being able to be a part of the learning experience is really a great thing to see. It really hasn't changed very much. There is a little bit more talk about it. So as I go into how it's changed over time, while I do know that it hasn't changed very much, it has become a little bit more important than previous years. As I stated here, as preschool has become a bigger step in a child's life than in previous years, there are many different types of preschool to send your child to. So in order to get your children through, those kindergarten years, you really need to prepare themselves for preschool. And that starts at the beginning with your kids. It can be tough and grueling sometimes to think about it, but every single second you're with your kids is a learning experience for them. And depending on what preschool you want to send your kids to, there's different types of readiness that you do need to get them ready for. Montessori's is definitely a free play, but there are private preschools that are a little bit more structured, and you do need to prepare your child for that. And what I propose to advance the policy. So it goes without saying that each child deserves equal opportunity to reach their fullest and best potential imaginable. And parents really need to prepare their children for the best and use their information, use the knowledge, pick the brains of educators, just help them out, just give them, I'd like to say, give them the childhood experience that you always wanted to have, just help them out, make those years easier for them. And you can always follow, as I stated before, the government's home plan for readiness. They do have a couple worksheets and evaluations that you can do with your children to make sure that they are on those learning tracks. And there's plenty and plenty of different resources you can find online of different people, educators, like I said, government, mom blogs. They're all great resources to just get different information from. And here's just a little quote. Is many families worry that reading and telling stories in their home language will make it harder for their children to read in English, but the opposite is true. So I do work with a lot of dual language learners, and I found this really important to share in my preschool readiness, as a lot of parents are going to worry that them speaking in their native language, whatever that may be, is going to affect how the children learn, but actually it helps them develop more cognitive abilities than a single speaker, English speaker only. So I like to put that in there and just help educate them. And I don't know, it's really nice to see that aha moment in families where it's just wow, I was worried about this, and my family members, I try to get them to speak English when they're around my kids, but really children learn languages pretty fast, and the faster that you introduce them to another language, they actually will have a better handle of school and new information as they process a whole nother language before the age of 4. So I think that's really awesome to, think about. And definitely my target here is for parents And this is my plan for action, is this pamphlet I made. It's really important. There's plenty out there. I'm sure they're better than mine, but I think mine is pretty great too. So this is my preschool readiness guide. So I put a note from the teachers. It says, parents, please reach out to us if you have any questions on how to guide your child to become ready for preschool. Our jobs are to develop the child as a whole. We want your involvement. Parental involvement is key building block in a child's life. And I put my information down there as if I was a real certified educator, which I will be soon. And I put the why, why preschool readiness is so important. It helps the children develop on time at a steady rate. We get them ready for preschool and allow them to engage with peers to build those social skills. The stress of your child learning the alphabet will be actually lessened if they're given the previous knowledge. So if you work with your kids on the alphabet before they see it, they will have a better understanding of it than if they were to first see it on their own, which may seem like common sense, but a lot of new parents don't want to overload their kids. But if you just, mention it to them, do a little practice once a week, and definitely help them get ready for preschool. Here's the second half of my pamphlet here, and it's what can you do? So as a parent, it can be very difficult to navigate preschool readiness. We have provided a few links to worksheets and evaluations to check your child's development below. And these are 3 great websites that have many different little sections for what level your child is sitting at. So you can go and click on these links, type them in if you want, and it'll bring you to different worksheets. You can go and search within that website, and you'll find many different other printables that you can use at home. Do like a little homeschooling session. And here's just like a few like bullet points when your child's ready to start entering preschool. So it's, try to get your child into preschool by age 3, or age 3-5 is about standard. Talk with the pediatrician and make sure that they are physically ready for that. Look into half-day programs just to, start that development of, the separation between parent and child. It's a really strong bond, so it's very common to have children act as they're not potty trained so they can go home. And that brings me to the next one is, are they potty trained? So kids are very smart, and definitely don't underestimate them. And is your child communicating verbally or in another way? I do work with a lot of preschool children that do have special needs, and many of them actually came without being diagnosed. So I actually helped that process, and it was really awesome to see, the families, make like, oh, wow, that makes sense now, and, get the help they need and get their child on the right path. And here are just, 3 really common options for preschool. And like I said at the beginning, like there's different levels that you're trying to shoot for your kids. So Montessori is definitely like free roaming and just, slowly guiding the children. Reggio Emilia, it's student driven, and it's really just allowing kids to be kids. And religious is that private school manner, and it's definitely very strict. So I would go back over this pamphlet. It is really helpful, especially those links. And here's these references. These 2 were really important. There are many out there to check, but I would definitely look on the Head Start website. That is really great. They have plenty of different, age groups that they talk about, what happens before preschool, in preschool, into kindergarten, such as that. But yeah.